We are about to take questions from our subscribers. And if you want to be in the next mailbag, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also, the season is almost here. The NFL season's almost over. The college football season's over. And you know what comes next. Spring training and the 2026 MLB season. If you want daily videos during the 2026 season, we're going to have them. Recap shorts, back. Daily videos, back. You're not going to want to miss it. Help us get to 9,000 subscribers. We're less than 500 away. And let's get into today's mailbag. We are not going to waste any time in today's edition of the Red Sox Rundown. GTA Vault with the first question from our YouTube. He's making a statement, but asking basically a question. Can the Red Sox still trade for Ketel Marte somehow is the question. If I'm being honest, and I don't like this answer because I want Ketel Marte on the team, but if I'm being honest, I think the ship has sailed at this point. Gordo had this tweet. He aggregated this from Alex Spear a few days ago. The door is still firmly shut on the D-backs trading for Ketel Marte. One source familiar with their thinking told Alex Spear. Now, I will say, let's be real here for a second. If the price is right, anything can happen. If the Red Sox say, hey, we'll give you Jarren Duran, Brian Bayo, and Franklin Arias. I'm not saying they're going to do that. That would actually be insane, by the way, if that was the package. But if they said that, Mike Hazen basically has to say yes, because that would be ridiculous to turn down. So it could happen. Do I think it's going to happen? I find it highly unlikely. It seems like they have fully pivoted to Isaac Paredes. You've still got the Nico Hoerners, the Brendan Donovans of the world, or they might just stay in-house, which we'll talk about here in a second. But I think the ship has sailed, but never say never. If the price is right, maybe they go back to the negotiating table, but at this point, I do find it unlikely. Thank you for the question, though. G Fresh, speaking of what happens if they don't bring in anybody, if no more impact external players are acquired, who would be at second base and third base come opening day? This is a fantastic question. This is going to be the golden question going into spring training if they don't bring in anybody else, which I find hard to believe. I think they will, but let's just say, I think your opening day third baseman is Marcelo Mayer. I think that's pretty obvious if they don't bring in anybody externally. If they were to bring in Isaac Paredes, I think it's easy. You move Marcelo Mayer to second base. But I think that Marcelo Mayer is your opening day third baseman. He already played first, third base last year. He showed he can do it well. He just needs to stay healthy. Your opening day second baseman, I think, is Romy Gonzalez. He proved last year that he can hold it down. He mostly played first base because he was platooning because Tristan Casas blew his knee out. But there has been a lot of talk and a lot of rumors about him getting a line share of the reps at second base next year. And look, we don't really talk about this that much, but he was kind of a stud last year. If you look at his stats, 315 at-bats, part-time type of role. But in those 315 at-bats, he made the most of it. A 305 average, 826 OPS, 9 homers, 53 RBIs, and a 128 OPS plus. That wouldn't be an ideal world. Obviously, you'd like to bring in a Ketel Marte or a Nico Hoerner, or maybe you bring an Isaac Paredes at third and you put Mayer at second. That's the ideal world that we would like to live in. But Romy's a baller, and we know this. He will play well. He's shown it in a relatively large sample size. So I think it's Mayer at third, Romy at second. I would be fine with that. Your defense is better than it was last year. Romy can hit, and we will take a look at my opening day lineup here at the end of the video. It doesn't look horrible with Romy Gonzalez in the lineup, but thank you for the question. Moving on to the next one. A.math. I hate math, but I assume you're cool, though, but I'm not a fan of math. How valuable will Kristian Campbell be for the team this year? And what kind of potential do you think he has? This is a fantastic question because I feel like, and I've seen this a lot on my Instagram. If you're not following at the Red Sox Rundown on Instagram, give us a follow, almost to 4,000 followers. I've seen it a lot on the Instagram, and I've seen it a lot in the comments of my YouTube shorts, people have already abandoned Kristian Campbell, which I don't understand why. I have not given up on Kristian Campbell. I want to make that abundantly clear. I'm very excited for what Campbell could do in 2026. Now, look, I get it. 2025 was not great. Let's just call it like it is. 2025 was not great. 223 average, 664 OPS, 6 homers, 21 RBIs, and 86 OPS. Box score hunters will look at those stats, say this guy is trash. He can never be on the team ever again. Let's break it down, though. Let's get a little deeper here, okay? Here are his splits month by month before his demotion, okay? April and March, we all know he was a baller. 301 average, 902 OPS, 4 homers, 12 RBIs, 19 walks. Then he started to struggle in May. The 134 average, the sub 400 OPS, only 1 homer, only 4 RBIs. Then you started to see some life in June before the demotion. 205 average, 658 OPS, 1 homer, 5 RBIs, 5 walks. Like, you started to see an uptick in the numbers in June. What does that all correlate to? Well, it's interesting. May 16th, 2025. You know, May, his worst month. That's when he started taking reps at first base. That's when they started the let's see if he can play first experiment. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. They were trying to move him around everywhere. They put him in the outfield. They put him at second. They were trying to put him at first. He never knew from day to day where he was playing. That totally takes you out of your routine. And because of that, he started struggling mentally because he was committing errors in the field, and he started struggling at the plate. May was horrible. It was. We'll call it like it was. And that's a big reason why his stats were not as good as they were in 2025. But you can also correlate a lot of that to him starting to play at first and them trying to accelerate him at first. And then you started to see him recover in June. And then he was demoted. So let's pump the brakes on the kid. He's young. He's going to take some time to develop. Can we please not abandon him after 1 month? Everyone did the same thing with Alex Bregman. He had 1 bad month when he rushed back from injury, and he's a horrible player now. And everyone seems to forget that the first month of the season, he was one of the best hitters in baseball. I plead to every single one of you watching this video, please do not overreact over 1 month. Please. The kid will be okay. And I hope that he performs well. I really do. You let me know, though. I'm just going to ask you, do you still believe in Kristian Campbell? Why for yes if you do, and for no if you do not. I still do. I'm still hoping and praying that big things are coming for the kid, but you let me know. And just flood the comments. Just let me know. Just let me know. All right, let's move on. Nick Buckland, coming from our Instagram again at the Red Sox Rundown. Make sure you give us a follow. Can Marcelo Mayer be the guy at third if we make a trade for Nico Hoerner or Brendan Donovan? So I've kind of already talked about this a little bit. I think as of right now, he is your opening day third baseman. If he stays healthy, he absolutely can be. He showed it last year. Like when he was healthy, he played a really good third base when Bregman was hurt. Like I've got no issue with him playing in the field. Obviously, him hitting against lefties is a little hit or miss. So he's got to continue that. But that comes with reps. That comes with time. But he's got to stay healthy. Like that's the issue. He has never played more than 91 games in a season professionally. That needs to change. Craig Breslow knows that too. He challenged Mayer to gain weight, to add muscle this offseason so that he would not be as injury prone. If he can add more games to this list, he can absolutely be your everyday third baseman. And I would be very confident with him in that position. Peter Garcia, back to the YouTube. Thank you so much, Peter, for asking a question. He's a big commenter in the comments. I know I see you all the time, Peter, so thank you. With depth in the outfield and starting pitching, which players would you include in a trade? All right, so I broke it down into pitchers and position players. These are the top pitching trade chips. Now, I'm not saying any of these guys are going to get traded. This is just based on rumors and rumblings and news, okay? Brian Bayo is probably maybe your most valuable, maybe because he's got a lot of major league experience. He's on a very team-friendly deal. He's got years of team control. Maybe not, but he's definitely someone to watch out for. He's been linked to Isaac Paredes and the Astros, something to look out for. Obviously, the two young guys, Payton, Tolle, and Connelly early. I want to keep them both, but if one of them are used to go after one of these impact bats, then that's just the business of baseball. You feel a little more comfortable about that, too, with the signing of Ranger Suarez. And then someone we haven't really talked about because he hasn't pitched for the Red Sox yet because he was recovering from Tommy John all last year, is Patrick Sandoval. 1 year left on his deal. He's going to be a free agent after this year. He's got some good stuff. Could he be a trade chip? Maybe. I'm not convinced, though, because, again, he hasn't pitched in over a year. In terms of position players, it's these two. These two. Jarren Duran, Wilyer, Abreu, they've been linked in all the trade talks. You could maybe add Cedon in here, but I'm not convinced that he's going to go. I think he's too valuable defensively. And then I just added Masataka Yoshida because please, attach a prospect. I don't care. Open up the DH spot. That would make life so much easier for Alex Cora. Open up the DH spot. These are the three trade chips positionally. But thank you for the question, Peter. I really do appreciate it. Matthew on our Instagram. What kind of potential does Early and Tolle have on the team this year? Love the question. I just told you I love Early and Tolle. They were some of the most exciting parts of this past season, honestly, in my opinion, was seeing them make their debuts. 2 starting points before I get into what I think they can be. I think it is trending that they're both going to start in AAA. I think with the way the rotation is constructed right now, and they both do still need development, I do think they're both going to start the season in Worcester. That's not to say they won't be on the taxi squad because they've got a lot of options, so they can come up and down if need be. But I do think they're trending to start in AAA. My second point is I'm very excited to see them both in spring training and just develop this season because I think but by the time you get to the end of the season, they both could be on the 20, 24, 26 man in some way, shape, or form. In terms of what I think they can be, Connelly early, I think, has the ceiling of a Ranger Suarez, maybe even better. Call me crazy, but they're very similar players. They are all about pitchability. They're not about dominating with fastballs. Early's got a good fastball, but he doesn't have like a Payton Tolle type fastball. He's about pitchability. He's got like 6 pitches that he throws over 10% of the time. He carves up players. Like he's really, really good in terms of being a pitcher. A lot like what Ranger Suarez is. I think he's got that type of ceiling. He could be an absolute dog in the future if he continues to develop. Payton Tolle, on the other hand, could be the next great flamethrower in baseball. He could be. He's got the stuff. He's got the aura. He's got the swag. He's got the 100+ mile an hour fastball. If he can control it and he can become more of a pitcher, not just a thrower of the baseball, I made jokes during his debut stream. He could be the next Paul Skeens. And that's not hyperbole. Like, if he's able to control his stuff, we saw it. We saw it in his debut. If he can control his stuff and he can add another pitch or two to really, like, round out his arsenal, he's got the fastball to do it. So I've got really high hopes for Tolle. He needs development, but if he develops properly, which I trust him to do in this pitching infrastructure that they have, he could be an absolute dog. To round this all out, I'm just so excited for spring training. We've got 3 professional football games left. Then football's over, and it is time for baseball. And I'm so excited to watch these guys pitch in spring training games, watch them develop, start to see the team come to form, and then by the time we get to March and opening day, it's going to be a lot of fun if you're ready for spring training. All I want you to do is just go down in the comments and spam those me's. We might not have baseball in 2027, so we need to really enjoy 2026. So if you're excited for spring training, spam those me's down in the comments. Video Game Nation is been on here a few times. Shout out to you, asking good questions every single time. Jack, if you had to choose 2 Red Sox players to hit 30-plus home runs this year, who would it be and why? Also love the show. Keep up the amazing work. I appreciate the kind words, Video Game Nation. Thank you for being a supporter. So let's look at the home run leaders for last year first as some context. It's disgusting. Trevor Story with 25. 25 being your most, not good. 22 for Wilyer Abreu. 18 for Alex Bregman. 16 for Ceddanne Rafaela and Jarren Duran. So first off, I'm just going to say, I think Wilyer, like a full season of Wilyer Abreu does it. Wilyer played in 115 games in 2025. He missed a good chunk of time, and he still hit 22 home runs. So he was 8 home runs short, and he played 40 and some change less games than most players. I think he gets that amount of home runs. I think that's easy. Like, I think Wilyer, if he's healthy the entire year, 30 home runs is easy for him because he's got the 40 home run potential, in my opinion. So I definitely think that Wilyer is just a slam dunk shot at 30 home runs this year. On the other hand, do we think Roman could do it? He didn't really unlock his power last year. Now, he didn't play that long. It was, I believe, 71 games or something. But he was starting as he was getting more comfortable to find his power. And if you get a full season of Roman with the high expectations, I believe he was number 41 on MLB Network's top 100 players, which is insane for a player that's only played 71 games or something. Like, that's insane. He's got the potential, though. And if he hit 30 home runs, that'd be chills. So I'm not going to say definitively, but it would be awesome if it was Roman. It would be awesome if it was Roman. Thank you for the question. Caleb Morgan, we got 2 left. Oh, no, this last one, actually. Caleb Morgan, last question. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone that submitted questions. We got a bunch of questions also on the Instagram, on Twitter, and YouTube that I wasn't able to get to. So thank you to everyone that submitted questions. I just picked a few of them because this video is already almost 20 minutes long. You guys know I love to ramble. What do you think will be the Red Sox opening day lineup? I'm going to assume as it stands right now, because they have not made any other moves, this is what I would do. Ta-da! This is what I think. Based on what they've got right now, the only thing I would change is maybe you flip Roman and Duran, but I still kind of think this is what they do. Roman in the 1 hole in left, Trevor Story in the 2 hole at short, Duran at DH in the 3 hole, Wilson Contreras at first in the 4 hole. Cora already said he was going to be the cleanup hitter, so there you go. Wilyer Abreu hitting 5th in right field, Narvaez hitting 6th in center, Mayer at 3rd, 7th, Romy in the 8 hole at 2nd, Ceddanne Rafaela in the 9 hole in center, and Garrett Crochet is your starting pitcher. The symmetry here, because everyone talks about, oh my God, the Red Sox have so many lefties. The way I have it constructed right now, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, righty. If that ain't symmetry between your lefties and righties, I don't know what the hell is. It's not a bad lineup. Look, I've crapped on this team all off season long. I have. And it's not really the team, it's more the ownership and the GM. But, guys, it's not a bad lineup. Maybe they're a wild card team. I don't know, because I still think the Orioles got exponentially better, and I still think the Yankees and Blue Jays are probably over you. Although, if Cody Bellinger goes somewhere other than the Yankees, I cannot wait for the Yankee fan crash out. That's going to be so much fun. But they might be a wild card team. It's just been such a disappointing offseason, because we were going into the offseason you re-sign Bregman, you sign Pete Alonso, you bring in a number 2, and they Wilson Contreras, Sonny Gray. Ranger Suarez was great, but it's just been a disappointing offseason. I think we all expected these huge, bold moves, and I don't think they're done yet. I still think they're going to bring in another bat, but it's a good lineup. I think it could be a great lineup, but they just haven't gotten there yet. But we'll see what happens. They might surprise us. Project your opening day lineup with the players on the roster right now. That's going to be my last question for you guys. Go down below, project your Red Sox opening day lineup in the comments right now. And that's where we end it. Thank you all to everyone that submitted questions. If you want to be on the next mailbag, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And again, once the season starts, daily videos, daily recap shorts. You're not going to want to miss it. So hit that subscribe button. And until next time, go Sox.